You're watching Eye on Africa here on France 24. I am Julia Kim. Here are the main headlines on the continent. A 9-year-old Congolese girl is the latest victim to die of Ebola in the world's second largest outbreak. Over 2,000 people have died from the disease since last August. Thousands of fans bid a final farewell to the late Ivorian musician DJ Arafat. A memorial concert in his honor is taking place through the night before his burial this Saturday. And on the eve of the Basketball World Cup, the US makes a global push in Africa with the NBA's first academy in Senegal, training and recruiting the best talent on the continent. But first, the death toll from the Ebola virus in DR Congo has passed a grim milestone. Over 2,000 people have now died from the illness since August 2018. The latest fatality was a 9-year-old Congolese girl who'd crossed the border into Uganda. The disease has spread across 3 provinces in East Congo that border on 4 countries, including Uganda. It's the second deadliest outbreak in history after more than 11,000 people died in West Africa between 2014 and 2016. Well, for more, Emanuele Capobianco from the Red Cross joins us live from Geneva. Thank you for joining us today on the programme. Now, unlike in 2014, vaccines are more available and the disease is no longer considered incurable. But the World Health Organization's Director General says this outbreak is more complex than the far deadlier one in 2014. Why is this outbreak considered more complicated to manage?
I see 3 main factors that explain why this outbreak is more difficult to manage. First, it happened in a conflict zone where you have dozens of armed groups that have made access to responders like the Red Cross much more difficult and have actually carried out organized attacks against health workers and health facilities. Second, the health system in North Kivu and Ituri is extremely weak and is not able to manage even the basic diseases in terms of malaria, diarrhea, and respiratory infection. So managing Ebola has become a very difficult challenge on top of existing very high health needs. The third element is the lack of trust that has been observed in many parts of the population because of rumors on the epidemic and fears of the virus.
Now, just going back to that, how has the situation on the ground changed for aid workers and medical staff since the 2014 outbreak?
Well, the situation has changed for the better in certain terms and for the worse in others. For the better in the sense that for this outbreak, we do have a vaccine that was not existing in 2014. More than 200,000 people have been vaccinated, and this is an enormous success. We would have the deaths in the tens of thousands without the vaccines, and instead we have only, so to speak, 2,000 deaths. Similarly, we have a treatment that has proven to be efficacious, 90% or more effective, which is another major step forward compared to 2014. But the violence has been something extremely problematic. The lack of trust has been something that has really created difficulties for getting access to people and for people to come forward when they are sick.
And finally, Doctors Without Borders said on Thursday that many people have died of Ebola in their communities before they could even be diagnosed and treated for the disease. And roughly a third of Ebola-related deaths have only been diagnosed post-mortem. Why is it so difficult to identify and trace people who've potentially contracted Ebola?
I go back to the issue of trust. If people don't trust the health system, they will not come forward. And this has been one of the major constraints in dealing with this epidemic. People may have symptoms, but they may not go to the health facilities because they're afraid of going to the health facilities. And so it's turning this fear into trust of the health system that will bring more and more people towards the facility so that they will be getting the treatment that they need, and they will avoid infecting the loved ones that will be around them. So trust is really at the core of the response. Trust is what we at the Red Cross are trying really to push forward. And we have done so through the past year, and we'll have to do so for the next several difficult months ahead of us.
Emanuele Coppe-Bianco from the Red Cross, thank you very much for joining us on the programme. Next, the city of Abidjan is in for a sleepless night as thousands pay their final respects to the late DJ Arafat before his burial this Saturday. A memorial concert and homages to the Ivorian musician are taking place from dusk till dawn, with Ivory Coast's president also in attendance. Born Ange Didier Huon, he brought to the world the coupé décalé genre, a distinctly Ivorian style of dance music. He died in a motorbike accident earlier this month at the age of 33, leaving behind 5 children and scores of adoring fans. Let's take a listen to a clip of his music.
The Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium in the heart of Abidjan has had to be specially reopened as tens of thousands of fans come to say goodbye for one final DJ Arafat concert. The scale and preparation has been outstanding, with roads closed all day and the central business district abandoned, making it feel even more like a state funeral. It's in a way a little divisive. You either stay at home well away from the crowds or head down en masse. DJ Arafat himself considered his fans so numerous, he called them les Chinois, the Chinese. Some Chinese come from a very long way to be here today, but many simply don't believe what they've been told.
I've come all the way from Togo to the Ivory Coast because we thought, no, our DJ is not dead. We don't believe it, so we came today for the wake before his burial. We're here and we want to see his body. We don't believe it.
We've got Africa's megastars like Nigeria's Davido and the DRC's Maitre Gims lined up to keep the wake going all through the night, plus a host of local artists too.
Il m'a vraiment motivé, il m'a donné le courage d'entamer une carrière dans le coupé décalé. Et je peux dire que c'est grâce à lui qu'aujourd'hui je suis un artiste coupé décalé parce qu'on a tous suivi son exemple. C'est un modèle de réussite. Donc nous jeunes, la nouvelle génération du coupé décalé, on veut toujours continuer le combat pour pérenniser le même mouvement, pérenniser le coupé décalé pour que le monde entier sache que Arafat DJ n'a pas lutté vainement.
DJ Arafat's coffin will then be brought into the stadium on Saturday morning en route to Williamsville Cemetery, where we can expect many in the crowd here to join the procession.
That was Frank Hersey there, our correspondent, who's reporting to us from Abidjan from that memorial service. Now, DJ Arafat made 10 albums in 15 years, but he was just as prolific outside the studio. His dance moves, fashion sense, and even his made-up phrases made him one of the most influential celebrities in Ivory Coast. Our correspondents met with some of the artists he's inspired.
On the screens, on the turntables, and in their hearts, DJ Arafat is everywhere. His friends are gradually returning to the bar where he came so often, to pay tribute and to party. At times, DJ Arafat would turn up almost every night at Hypnotic Bar. DJ Mopao has come specially from Burkina Faso and claims to have been a friend of Arafat.
The rings, the frame of mind, fighting to win, always being first. That's what Arafat left me with.
He's filming the video for a song he's collaborated on for a UNICEF project to tackle child slavery, a gig that would have been close to Arafat's heart.
He lived on the streets. He did everything himself, right up until he became the torchbearer for coupé décalé and Ivorian performers. That's something to be celebrated. Not everyone can do all that.
And as for his recording career, the prolific artist leaves behind an immense legacy that even his producers struggle to quantify.
It's complicated because of the number of dances, concepts, the number of tracks he was able to release, the freestyle. We're talking about a catalog of hundreds of items. He's leaving behind an unprecedented music legacy. I think there's going to be a before and after DJ Arafat.
The post-Arafat scene will no doubt be one of further rivalries and clashes between artists. As to who will rise to the top now remains to be seen. The passing of the king of coupé décalé leaves an empty throne for the princes to fight for.
Now, in other news, 155 migrants have forced their way into Spain's North African enclave, Ceuta, from Morocco. Spanish authorities say the group took advantage of foggy weather to break through a barbed wire fence. It's the first time in a year that migrants have stormed the barrier that separates Ceuta from Morocco. Last August, Spanish authorities expelled 116 migrants who'd forced their way in. Spain's two North African enclaves, Melilla and Ceuta, are the EU's only land borders with Africa. The number of arrivals in the two cities has dropped by nearly a fifth to just over 3,000 migrants since the start of this year. And finally, basketball's World Cup starts this Saturday in China. 32 countries will go for gold, including 5 teams from Africa. That's Angola, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Tunisia and Senegal. Now, title holders Team USA are favourites to win the tournament again this year. But the US has also been reinforcing its global dominance in basketball by opening a new NBA academy in Africa to find the continent's best young talent.
These are the best young basketballers in Africa. Selected through rigorous local scouting programs and elite skills camps, they have come from across the continent to develop that talent at the NBA's African Academy. This is the NBA's first training centre on the continent. Based in Senegal, it opened its doors to young players last year.
The aim is to develop basketball, to develop the NBA across the continent, because we have had, as I was telling you before, a long history of great players that have come from this continent who have made history in the NBA.
After 2 to 4 years training, they'll be hoping to score a place at an American university. Ambitious and hardworking, these players are put through their paces. Only the best will make it.
It'd be great to play for any team in the NBA. Anyone in the NBA franchise would be great, but Lakers would be the best, yeah.
The Academy is supporting these young players academically as well, to prepare them in case they don't manage to turn their sporting passion into a career.
And what the NBA had done, they made a conscious decision to make sure we give them leadership skills, time management skills, life skills, all the things that are necessary in order to be successful. So it's not just about basketball.
The NBA recently announced the creation of the Basketball Africa League in 2020. This championship will give the young players more opportunities at a basketball career when they leave the academy.
Well, that's it from me. There's more news coming up next with Charlie James. Stay tuned to France 24.